Well, good morning from Melbourne. It's that Moomba weekend at the moment, but I am here, and this is Tom Padula from TomPadulaTV on YouTube and Insegna Booksellers. And this is Canto 27 of Dante Alighieri's Inferno. How time passes, huh? Canto 27. When we get to Canto 34, the Inferno will have been finished. How interesting. Canto 26 was all about Ulysses, and this one here, Canto 27, is about Guido da Montefeltro. Whereas in Canto 26, Virgilio takes the lead. He sort of deals with Ulysses because, it's one of those classical events, journeys of the past, and he says, okay, Dante, don't say a word, I'll deal with this. But in Canto 27, he passes it on. Okay, hello, Sophie. Thank you very much for coming on. This is just the beginning of Canto 27, and it's about Guido da Montefeltro. He was a famous soldier, Ghibelline. He was very strong. And John Lennon says, well, am I in good company this morning? Now, this particular canto refers to fraudulent sinners, people who give the wrong counsel to people. And in this particular case, the Guido da Montefeltro was a very, very strong leader, soldier. And then when he retired, he became a Franciscan father, a brother. And the Pope Boniface the Eighth, called him and wanted him to do the wrong things. So I says, what should I do with these Colonna people who don't want to believe me? Give me some counsel. And he says, don't worry what you tell me, because you can be forgiven before I can forgive you, because I am a Pope, so I can excommunicate you, or I can give you forgiveness for your future sins. Which is not really the case, because God is the one that decides ultimately. And therefore Guido fell into his own tranello, in his own counsel, bad counsel that he gave to the Pope, but he miscalculated himself. And so this an interesting Canto 27. It's actually an interesting canto, and there are a lot of, just to let you know, there are 136 lines, so it's quite a bit. And the Italian here, it's the Italian from the 13th century. There are some notes in Italian which I will read out, and then after this one here, generally goes for about half an hour. Then I do my own poetry, and today I've got a couple of poems from Amica Poesia, Poetry My Friend, and then, of course, I've got my songs, the songs. Some of them come out all right, but some of them, we do our best. So that's it. Now, just a reminder to everyone else who comes on later that you can actually access these particular lessons, presentations of mine on 4 places. One, in this one here, in Facebook, live on Facebook, and then it gets recorded and it stays there for, forever, as long as Facebook is around. Then also you can go to YouTube. There is a little section at the end under TomPadulaTV, YouTube, where it says About, and the actual lessons of mine for the 4 things that I do are there. But I need to bring them up to date occasionally. But there are quite a few there already. Then there's also tompadula.blogspot.com, in which you get my writings, the poetry, and under that you have to go to a little section called Lessons, and you click on that, and you got the presentations, and finally there's one more. So Facebook, YouTube, Blogspot, and of course Insegna Booksellers. Under Insegna there's a section there that says blog, And in the blog, you can get all of my lessons, especially the Italian ones for people like Sophie or John, who adults who want to learn Italian. I want to know about other languages. That's where you get it from, and it's a basic presentation of the grammar, and that includes English as well. So that's it. Those are the 4 places. And finally, I want to meet a few people next Sunday. Not this Sunday, next Sunday I'll be at Federazione Lucana from 3:30 till 5, meeting a few people, whoever wants to come, who's interested in Italian language and culture. So if I get a few people, then we've got a little bit of a team, and we'll take it from there. And now it's 11:30. Before I do that, I have a bit of a drink. Cheers. And here we go. Canto 27, dove tratta di quei medesimi agguatatori e falsi consiglieri d'inganni in persona del conte Guido da Montefeltro. So, Canto 27, as I said, is a fraudulent counsel. It relates to fraudulent counsel. Now, before I read the actual lines, there is a little note that says, Il bue siciliano. This is a Sicilian ox. Falaride was tiranno di Agrigento. He was from Agrigento and he was a tyrant. Ricevette in dono dall'artigiano Perillo un bue di bronzo a grandezza naturale nel quale poter ardere vivi i prigionieri. So this Perillo was a craftsman. He built an ox made of steel, of bronze, and in which inside the bronze statue, he gave this gift to the tyrant from Agrigento, and he says, well, here you can burn all the people you don't like in this particular bronze ox. I'll just show it to you. I'll just show it to you, and then I'll go back. That's what it looks like. Look at that. See, that's the bronze ox, and Perillo ends up in there because he gives it to the tyrant, and the tyrant, to thank him, burns him in his own ox. Some of these writers, including Shakespeare and all the others, when you go close to them, they're unbelievable. Il fabbro, the ironmonger, aveva costruito l'animale in modo tale che gli urli di dolore del prigioniero fossero uditi dall'esterno come il muggito di un bue. So, when the tyrant put his prisoner in the ox, you wouldn't be able to hear his laments, but you could hear the ox, emanating his own sounds. Quite interesting. Falaride was so happy with this instrument of torture that he decided to test it on the maker, on Perillo. That's gratitude for you. That's beautiful. Okay, there we go. Già era dritta in su la fiamma e queta per non dir di più, e già da noi sen già con la licenza del dolce poeta. Quando un'altra che dietro a lei venia ne fece volgere gli occhi alla sua cima per un confuso suon che fuor n'uscia. So we come out where Ulysses drowns in front of the mountain, in front of Purgatory and Paradise Mountain under Jerusalem, in the sea. When he thought he had made it, he actually drowned. So that was Ulysses, and he ended up in hell because he had told his people that everything be fine, don't worry about it. Well, they ended up losing their life, so he got punished. Now, come il bue, Dante likes the references, the historical references, the mythological references. He's full of it. He loves it. and this is about the Sicilian ox here. Come il bue sicilian che mugliò prima col pianto di colui e ciò fu dritto, che l'avea temperato con sua lima, mugliava con la voce dell'afflitto, sicché con tutto che fosse di rame, pur el parea dal dolor trafitto. So, this is the description of what I've just shown you before, that, the ox was made of bronze, and it seemed as if that whoever was burning in there, the ox itself looked as if he was in pain. Così, per non aver via né forame dal principio nel fuoco, in suo linguaggio si convertirono le parole grame. So, this ox emanated, instead of the words, his own, the thought of the soul that was in the ox. So, and he says, well, these sounds were converted into words. So in other words, they could understand. Because he and Virgil were walking, and they saw this flame coming from this ox. So he sort of looks, they are the actual flames, but he makes the comparison with the person who's in the ox. But it's not an ox there, it's the flame. From the flame you get the words emanating. And he's going to ask a few questions. Ma poscia che ebbe colto lor viaggio su per la punta, dandole quel guizzo che dato aveva la lingua il lor passaggio, udimmo dire. And so whilst they were walking, Virgilio and Dante, and they sort of had passed this particular flame that wanted to talk, but then the flame sort of stopped them, they heard. O tu, a cui io drizzo la voce e che parlavi mo lombardo, dicendo istratem va più non t'addizzo. So this is actually Virgilio, who comes from Lombardia, from near Milano, of course, and the flame heard him talk, and he said, oh, you've got the Milanese, the Lombardo dialect. It's like if you're in England, you speak in Scottish or whatever. So in Italy, the languages. And I'm doing this because John is, hoping that if he's listening, we can keep going with this. And so Virgilio takes it on and says, okay, now let's have a look what happens. Perch'io sia giunto forse alquanto tardo, non ti incresca a restare a parlar meco. I might have just come a little bit late here, because you've gone forward. Come back and talk to me, he says. The flame says to him. Vedi che non incresca a me, è ardo. I don't, I'm burning, so I can't really move I can't move outside of here. So you got to come back to me and talk to me. Se tu pur mo in questo mondo cieco caduto, sei di quella dolce terra latina, ond'io mia colpa tutta reco, dimmi se romagnuoli han pace o guerra. So this is Guido da Montefeltro. He's from Romagna, from Rimini. And John and I enjoyed one afternoon there on the beach in Rimini. That's where this guy comes from. And he wanted to know whether there was peace in Romagna. And Romagna is close to Lazio, near Rome. Dimmi se le Romagnole hanno pace, have they got peace, or are they in war? Che io fui di monti là intra Orbino e il gioco di che Tever si disserra. That I come from there, and I did my fighting there too. Io era ingiuso ancora attento e chino quando il mio duca mi tentò di costa dicendo. So, I was still thinking about Ulysses, Dante says, and I had my head down, e io giuso ancora attento e chino. I was concentrating on my own thoughts when the duca, his guide, Virgilio, tempted him and saying, now, parla tu, questo è latino. So, because Virgilio has spoken to Ulysses. Now he says, come on, you're my students. This guy here is from your parts, because Dante is from Florence and this Romagna, very close. Questo è Latino. In other words, talk to him. I don't want to talk to him. You do. You know more than I do about the current state of affairs in Romagna. That's the truth. E io che avevo già pronta la risposta, senza indugio a parlare, incominciai. And I already understood that, what this guy wanted, because he was Guido da Montefeltro. He said, I come from Romagna. The minute that came, that stirred Dante to contribute. Romagna tua non è, e non fu mai senza guerra, né cuor dei suoi tiranni, ma in palese nessuno or vi lasciai. So Romagna, your Romagna has never been in peace, because the people, your tyrants, always fought in wars. And therefore there can never be peace there. Ravenna sta come stata a molti anni, l'aguglia da polenta la si cova, sì che Cervia ricopre coi suoi vanni. So in Ravenna there is particular tyrants there, they are called polenta and Cervia. La terra che fe già la lunga prova e di Franceschi sanguinoso mucchio sotto le branche verdi si ritrova. E il mastin vecchio e il nuovo da Verrucchio che fecer di montagne il mal governo, laddove soglion fan di denti succhio. And then, le città di Lamone e di Santerno conduce il lioncel dal nido bianco che muta parte dall'estate al verno. E quella a cui il savio bagna il fianco, così com'ella si è tra il pianto e il monte, tra tirannia si vive e stato franco. So all this is all about the little towns in Romagna that had different tyrants governing them. And they were fighting always amongst themselves, inside their own places and outside. So here we go, with the notes. There are some notes here. L'aquila da Polenta, the eagle of the Polenta family. Lo stemma della famiglia di Polenta era un'aquila. So the stem was an eagle, che nel 1300 stendeva le sue avi, i livanni, covered, su Ravenna, they were the lords of Ravenna, e sul circondario fino a Cervia. And so all of the area of Ravenna and till Cervia, they were the rulers of this particular area. Le branche verdi, that's the other people that I mentioned, la città di cui si parla è Forlì. Forlì, again, in Forlì, Romagna, I can't remember now, but it's from those parts, Emilia-Romagna, che nel 1282, in 1282, sotto il comando di Guido da Montefeltro, under the command of Guido da Montefeltro, and that's the soul that we met. That's the flame. So he was under the command in Forlì. Ottenne una sanguinosa vittoria. So he was able to obtain a great victory against the French troops of Pope Martino IV. But in 1283, they couldn't hold the fortress. Nel 1300 Forlì era governata dalla famiglia Ordelaffi. In 1300, then 20 years later, we see that Forlì is under the Ordelaffi family governance. Il cui stemma era un leone verde, and their stem was a green lion in campo dorato and golden, with a golden, on a golden drape. Di qui il riferimento agli artigli verdi, and this is the artigli, the actual lion's paws, artigli, with they scratch, they're very strong. Now, figura il vecchio e il nuovo mastino. Il vecchio e il nuovo mastino sono i signori di Rimini. So this is the dog, the bulldog. E sono i signori di Rimini. Malatesta da Verruccia che governò tra il 1295 e il 1612. So Malatesta here, he governed Rimini from 1295 to 1312. E il suo primogenito and his first son, Malatestino, okay, with his first son. Malatesta sconfisse i ghibellini di Rimini. So Guido da Montefeltro fought against this guy, but he beat them in 1295, catturandone il capo che fu poi ucciso da Malatestino, capturing the person who was leading this Ghibelline people, but it wasn't Guido da Malatesta in this case, but he then had his head chopped off. And that's, they were pretty cruel. Il leone bugiardo, Maghinardo Pagani di Susanina, fu signore di Faenza, bagnato dal fiume Lamone, e Imola, bagnata dal fiume Santerno. Now we've gone past this with the trains when Nella and I were in Romagna. Maghinardo era noto per il trasformismo politico. Maghinardo was one of those politicians who could transform things very quickly, politically speaking. Pur essendo uno dei capi dei ghibellini di Romagna, even though he was a Ghibelline, combatté al fianco dei Guelfi fiorentini. He nonetheless didn't worry him. He fought on the side of the Florentine Guelfs. Well, nella battaglia di Campaldino, very famous one. Lo stemma della casata era un leone blu in campo bianco. And so these are the stems from these places here. And then we'll continue with the reading. Here we are, that's one stem. That's the second stem, the lion. Then the bulldog. Then we've got, see those? And then there's the lion, another one. So these are, Dante refers to the stems in order to refer to the people there who lived in Romagna. Okay, so we continue now. Better have another drink. Have I disappeared from here? What have I done here? Live. Oh, yes, because I haven't turned it around. That's it. I was just about to do the wrong thing. Okay, never mind. That's life. Yes, we've got John and Sophie still there. Lucky at me. Okay. So, we are here. We've looked at all the area of Romagna. Ora chi se ti priego che ne conte, non essere duro più che altri sia stato, se il nome tuo nel mondo tegna fronte. So he says, ora chi se ti priego, now if you don't mind, tell me who you are. Basically, that's what Dante is saying to Guido da Montefeltro. Poscia che il fuoco alquanto ebbe rugliato al modo suo, l'arguta punta mosse di qua di là e poi dico tal fiato. So the flame moved its head to and fro as if it was speaking. And he begins his story. Si credesse che mia risposta fosse a persona che mai tornasse al mondo, questa fiamma staria senza più scossa. Ma però che già mai di questo fondo non tornò vivo alcun, si ode il vero, senza tema d'infamia ti rispondo. And again, he falls in his own traps. He says, if I knew that in this hell, where I am now, a person could come back to earthly life, I would not say a word. Which is not true, because Dante can return. And that's going to speak about Guido da Montefeltro. But Guido says, if I knew that, he could do this, I wouldn't do it. And that's the way he sort of operated. Io fui uomo d'arme, e poi fui cordigliero, credendomi sicinto fare amenda. E certo il creder mio venia intero, se non fosse il gran prete a cui mal prenda. So he says, I was, a man of arms, and I did a pretty good job with that. and then in the end, you know, I sort of he became a Franciscan priest. So he left the one order and got another. Mentre che io forma fui forse di polpe, con la madre mi die l'opere mie non furono leonine ma di volpe. But I didn't act, even though I had my stem was that of the lion, I actually behaved like a fox in life, even as a condottiere, as a man of arms. Gli accorgimenti e le coperte via io seppi tutte. I knew every political trick in the trade. E si menai la loro arte che al fin della terra il suono uscia. And you know, he was very well known for that. Quando mi vidi giunto in quella parte di mia etade, ove ciascun dovrebbe calar le vele e raccogliere le sarte, ciò che prima mi piacea allor mi increbbe, e pentuto e confesso mi rendei. Ai, miser lasso, e giovato sarebbe. So he says, when I got to the end of my military career, I felt that I had done the wrong thing, and I asked for forgiveness, and therefore then he decided to become a priest. At the age of 74, mind you. He was 74 years old when he decided, yep, I'm going to become a priest. But his fame preceded him. Lo principe di nuovi farisei, avendo guerra presso al laterane, non con saracini né con giudei, che ciascun suo nemico era cristiano e nessuno era stato a vincere acri né mercatante in terra di Soldano. So this Guido da Montefeltro, okay, he falls into another trap with Boniface VIII, the Pope, because the Pope is fighting the Colonna family. And so he asked Guido da Montefeltro, because of his reputation, what should I do here? Okay? And so there are some notes here which I have to read. But I'll keep on reading the actual summary of what Dante says. Né sommo ufficio né ordini sacri guardò in sé, né in me quel capestro che solea fare i suoi cinti più macri. Ma come Costantin chiese Silvestro dentro Sirati a guarir della lebbre, così mi chiese questi per maestro a guarirle la sua superba febbre. Domandòmi consiglio e io tacetti, perché le sue parole parvero ebbre. So when the Pope approached him and said, this is, he was, the Pope had the fever of hatred. You know, the Pope he was also a ruler, and he had to keep people under control. And in fact, when I went to Rimini, then we went to opposite Rimini, there is a little mountain which has got the Vatican prisons of old. Very interesting, very interesting. And that's these people are pretty cruel, popes and all. And so he says, he asked me, you know, for my advice. E poi gli disse, tuo cuore non sospetti, don't have any suspicion of what I'm asking you. Finor t'assolvo, I can absolve you. E tu mi insegni a fare siccome Palestrino in terra getti. Tell me how I can knock these Colonna people from Palestrino, from their castle. Lo ciel possia serrare e disserrare. I can give forgiveness and I can also excommunicate you. So don't worry about it. God is on my side. That's the Pope. It represents God on earth. Lo ciel possia serrare e disserrare, come tu sai, però sono due le chiavi che il mio antecessor non ebbe care. So, referring to Peter, of course. Allora mi pinsero gli argomenti gravi, là, ver tacermi fu avviso il peggio, e dissi. And so, he fell into the inganno, into the trap set him by Boniface VIII. Padre, da che tu mi lavi di quel peccato, ov'io mo cader deggio, lunga promessa con l'attender corto ti farà trionfar nell'altro seggio. Okay. Now, because you are forgiven me, I will tell you how to get this Palestrina. Well, welcome to Antonietta Zica and to Marianna Cassino. Very interesting. My sister and a good friend. Di quel peccato vio mo cader deggio, lunga promessa, con la tender corto ti farà trionfar nell'altro seggio. This Guido da Montefeltro. Now, Dante is not talking about his what he did in life as a military man. He concentrates on the fact that he gave counsel. He was counsel to the Pope because he had received an absolution beforehand. Well, then when he died, this Guido da Montefeltro describes what happened. Francesco venne poi, when I died, come io fu morto, when I was, per me, San Francesco came to pick him up because he had been a good guy. He had a good reputation. Ma un di neri cherubini gli disse, i neri cherubini are the devils, told him, non mi far torto. Don't take him away. He belongs to me. He's a fraudulent counselor. Venirsene dee giù tra i miei meschini perché diede il consiglio fraudolento, dal quale in qua stato li sono accrini. Ch'assolvere non si può chi non si pente, né pentere o volere insieme puossi per la contraddizione che non consente. You can't ask for forgiveness for something you haven't done. You got to do it first, and then you can ask for forgiveness. You can't be absolved beforehand. So in other words, the Pope has tricked you, but God, you can't trick God. Not even a Pope can trick God. That's why a lot of them end up in hell. Oh, beautiful. Dante, what a guy. Unbelievable. Now, there is a bit more to read, but there are a lot of notes here, which I'm going to read first. Okay? Guido, vittima di un inganno. Guido si era già ritirato dal mondo quando Papa Bonifacio VIII gli chiese consiglio per vincere la resistenza dei Colonna, the family that was challenging the Pope, che si erano ribellati alla sua autorità e si erano asserragliati a Palestrina. Don't forget the Pope had an army as well, but these people here, the Colonna, were very strong, very rich people, and then they had their own castles. Il pontefice aveva lanciato contro i suoi acerrimi nemici una vera e propria crociata. So the Pope said, I'm going to fix you up, and send his army against them, trattandoli alla stregua di infedeli, treating them like infidels. Guido inizialmente esitò. Guido initially he hesitated, ma Bonifacio VIII lo convinced him, promettendogli l'assoluzione del peccato di cui sarebbe macchiato. So the Pope knew what he was doing. Il vecchio condottiero allora suggerì al Papa di garantire il perdono ai Colonna e di non rispettare poi le promesse. So he said to the Pope, says, listen, what you got to do with the Colonna? Easy, forgive them first, and then once they sort of they received they give up because you're not going to go against them anymore, then you kill them off. Easy. Poi annientando Palestrina. And then the Pope was able to do exactly what Guido da Montefeltro told him. Bonifacio seguì il piano alla perfezione. A causa di questo consiglio fraudolento, Guido si trova nell'inferno. Not for the other things that he's done before, but for this fraudulent act. L'astuto stratega è stata vittima infatti di un inganno. So this very good military man, he fell in his own trap. Perché non si può essere perdonati, because you cannot be forgiven prima di aver commesso un peccato, before you have committed a sin. So if you think you want to do a sin, but you don't do it, you haven't done it yet, you can't ask for absolution. It's like, the wolf. He goes to confession, And what in the confessional he says, Father, Father, hurry up, because there's a lamb outside. Well, a bit different, but the point is made. E quindi di un vero profondo pentimento. So you can't feel, you cannot ask, you cannot be forgiven. So it puts you in hell. So that Guido da Montefeltro muore, la sua anima è sottratta a San Francesco da un nero cherubino. So, quando Guido muore, San Francesco discende sulla terra per prendere l'anima del suo fedele e portarla in paradiso. Ma anche un angelo dall'inferno, un nero cherubino, ne reclama l'anima, adducendo il peccato commesso da Guido con il suo consiglio al Papa. And therefore, il demone si vanta delle proprie capacità logiche, prendendosi gioco dell'astuzia di Guido, che aveva pensato di poter ottenere una soluzione preventiva. And so we come to the end of this canto 27. Oh me dolente, come mi riscossi, quando mi prese dicendomi, forse tu non pensavi ch'io loico fossi. A Minos mi portò e quelli attorse 8 volte la coda al dosso duro, e poi per gran rabbia la si morse e disse, questi è i rei del fuoco furo. So when the devil took his soul remember Minotauro, Minos, he used to get the sinners and would, with his tail, would decide where they would go in hell. And he gave him the 8 bolgia. And so si è vestito andando in rancuro. Questi è di rei del fuoco furo, perché io laddove vedi son perduto, e si vestito andando mi rancuro. And I'm still feeling as if I've been taken, I was fooled. I was so smart, I was too smart by half. Quando egli ebbe il suo dir così compiuto, la fiamma dolorando si partio, torcendo e dibattendo il corno aguto. So the flame, after he said, sort of flopped and went, le corna, the last bit of the flame. Noi passammo oltre, e io e il duco mio, su per lo scoglio infine, in su l'altro arco che copre il fosso in che si paga il fio, e a quei che scommettendo acquistan carco. And so once the flame left, the Duca takes Virgilio takes Dante down to the next, the 9th bolgia of the 8th circle of hell. We're coming towards the end of here. We're coming towards the end of Inferno. Very interesting. What an incredible work. And I'm happy that I'm doing it. And I'm happy that this will be recorded, and other people will be able to check Dante Alighieri through what I've done, because all these are available online, and they are there as my podcasts. So not bad at all. Next week it'll be Canto 28. So on that note, I think now it's time for me to read my own poetry. Go from Dante Alighieri to TomPadula poetry. And this time, here we are. I think time, il tempo, okay? From Amica Poesia, and I'm going to read them to you in both Italian and English. Here we go. Il tempo è una comodità dispensabile. Se tu lo usi con saggezza, tu puoi realmente guadagnarne una doppia quantità. Se tu lo sciupi, non preoccuparti, tu avrai un'altra possibilità di ripetere lo stesso errore. Il tempo è soltanto una canzone che deve essere ben cantata, ma se tu sei in disaccordo, allora tu hai una corda rotta. Se a te non importa il tempo, ti lascerà essere un partner silenzioso nell'eternità. So if you don't make some noises, you'll be Sarai un partner silenzioso. You'll be a silent partner in eternity. No one will know that you made any mistakes. You'll be a perfect person and that didn't dare do anything. So, that's il tempo. That's from Tom Padula. Time is a disposable commodity. If you use it wisely, you can actually gain a double quantity. If you waste it, don't worry, you get another chance to repeat the same mistake. Time is only a song that needs to be well sung. But if you are in disaccord, then you have a broken chord. If you don't care, time will let you be a silent partner in eternity. So if you don't care about the things of this world, don't worry. That's where you came from. That's where you're going. The question is, you have to ask yourself, chi sei stato tu? Who have you been? Quando sarai vicino alla tua fine, che dirai al tuo Dio? Forse ricorderai quei momenti più cari e più vicini al tuo cuore. Forse penserai che sei stato in gamba in vita tua. Forse il passato non lo vedrai neanche di sfuggita. Qualunque sarà la tua fine, tu sarai stato tu, unico e solo. So, regardless of whatever you do, who have you been? When you are close to your end, what will you say to your God? There are a lot of people believe in God, but which one is it? So you have to feel some heart for those people who believe in a God other than your own. Perhaps you will remember those moments most dear and closest to your heart. Perhaps you will tally up the sum of your good and bad actions. Perhaps you will think that you were clever in your life, like Guido da Montefeltro. Perhaps the past you will not even see fleetingly. Whatever will be your end, you will have been you, unique and alone. And you will be rewarded or punished accordingly. Because after hell, there is purgatory. Il purgatorio is another one of Dante's great works. And I'm going to continue with that, but it won't be hell there. It'll be a chance for people who commit particular sins to be forgiven, to ask for forgiveness, and to then slowly but surely to make amends and receive the glory of paradise, the peace, eternal peace. So here we are. Now on Thursday, it was the 10th, yes, I went to see Dora and Rino Marchese, because we do some rehearsals together. And we enjoy ourselves. We enjoy ourselves because, that's how it is. Been like this for 30 plus years now. So we enjoyed each other's company, and they put up with my foibles. And I encourage them to ignore all criticism. Why not? It's good when people talk about you, because there's nothing worse than being ignored here. Okay, so here we go. There you are. There you are. See, this was on Monday. Now I've prepared it all. Let me see if I get to the first one. Well, the first one is, was it this one here? No, was the next one. The next one was this one. Here we go. Another afternoon here with Angela in spirito qua, con Dora e Rino, ecco, il trio lucano, ci manca il trio, però è rimpiazzato. Ok, oggi cominciamo con Nasera e Maggio. Rino, pronto? Yeah. Andiamo. First mistake, but soon after we make up, because here we go. Nasera e Maggio. Andiamo. Quando viene l'appuntamento, guardare, guarda il fronte, se ti parlo e non risponda, ti aspetta come che io ti tengo in tuo cuore, sono sempre innamorato, ma tu invece pensannate che stai scordando me. Quando si dice sì, viene la mente, non si ha da far morire, non cuore amante. Tu mi dicesti sì, nasce maggio, e mo pieno coraggio, e me sa. Sto che tu non so sincere, come quando mi incontraste, come quando mi diceste, voglio bene solo a te. E tramando mi giuraste, una mano in troppo cuore, non ti scordo prima amore, ma ti stai scordando di me. Quando si dice sì, tieno a mente. Welcome to Assunta Lombardi. Come deciste sì, nasce maggio, e mo tieno coraggio, e me la sa. Wow, that wasn't too bad, I reckon, but it's a beautiful song to learn. And now the next couple of songs, of course, they're not done in Italian clubs very often. In fact, you'd never hear these songs. So it's a challenge to sing these. And let's see what happens now with the next one. The next one is this one. This is Casa Bianca by Marisa Sanilla, and it's a song that Dora hasn't done much. Not many people actually sing it, but we're going to try it with Rena. Let's see whether we can manage her. Let's go.
Let's try it.
Okay, let's go. C'è una casa bianca che mai più io scorderò, mi rimane dentro il cuore con la mia gioventù. Era tanto tempo fa, ero bimbo di dolore, io piangevo nel mio cuore, non volevo entrare là. Tutti i bimbi come me hanno qualche cosa che di terrore li fa tremare e non sanno che cos'è quella casa bianca che non vorrebbero lasciare, è la loro gioventù che mai più ritornerà. Tutti i bimbi come te hanno qualche cosa che di terrore li fa tremare e non sanno che cos'è quella casa bianca che mai più io scorderò. Mi rimane dentro il cuore con la mia gioventù e mai più ritornerà. Now, my focus with all these songs is to introduce Italian songs that that are not played here in Melbourne on a regular basis in clubs, basically. And also I use these for the teaching of the language, building up your words, etc. And practice, because sometimes singing is, you can do this on your own. You don't need, so your Italian will improve if you actually sing these songs. Now the next one is going to be one of Albano and Romina Power. Now two people, very famous, you know, you can't compete with them. But let's have a look how we manage here. There we are. This is a song by Albano and Romina Power. We don't pretend we're going to, but we love the song. And therefore we want to sing it. It cannot be the same, but we're going to give our interpretation of it because we love the words, libertà. Especially today, we need libertà. Stop the wars. Come on, let's go.
Yes.
Scende la sera sulle spalle di un uomo che se ne va. Oltre la notte nel suo cuore un segreto ci porterà. Tra casa e chiesa una donna sta cercando chi non c'è più. E nel tuo nome quanta gente non tornerà. Libertà, quando hai fatto piangere senza te, quanta solitudine, fino a che avrà un senso vivere, io vivrò per avere te. Libertà, quando ancora sorgerà, canterà per avere te. C'è carta bianca sul dolore, sulla pelle degli uomini. Cresce ogni giorno il cinismo nei confronti degli umili. Ma nasce un sole nella notte nel cuore dei deboli. E dal silenzio la voce rinascerà. Libertà, quando hai fatto piangere senza te, quanta solitudine, fino a che avrà un senso vivere, io vivrò per avere te. Libertà, quando ancora sorgerà, canterà per avere te. That's the words are magnificent of this particular song, Libertà. And of course, it's Romina and Albano do such a wonderful job with it. Just wonderful stuff, really good. Now, what have I got here now? After that, Libertà, I've got the introduction to Reginella. Famous song, Reginella, di Roberto Murolo, and Dora knows it well, so let's see what we can do right now.
Yeah, come on.
Let's go.
No.
Here we go. Dora is quick on the mark when we get it wrong.
Reginella. Si è fatta una vesta scullata, un cappello con nastro e quel rosa.
Oh, welcome, Angela.
Scrivenza 3-4 chantosa e parlava francese così. Fu l'autriere che t'aggi incontrata, fu l'autriere che volete gnossi. T'aggi voluta bene a te, voluta bene a me, ma non ci fanno più, a volte tu, distrattamente pensa a me. Regine, quando stivo conmigo, non mangiavo campane e cerasa, tu campavi vase che vase, tu cantavi che agniva per me, e o cardilla cantava col fico, Reginello va bene a sturre, t'aggi voluta bene a te, come voluta bene a me, ma non c'è nome più, ma voto tu, distrattamente pieno. non ho vita già aperta caiola, reginella vola che tu vola e canta non piangere a ca, per una patrona sincera, per più degne sentirte cantare. T'ho già voluto bene a te, non è voluto bene a me, ma non c'è mamma più, mai tu, distrattamente pensa me.
Well, that one there, Dora was approved. I said, "No, you can put that one up." I said, "Okay, okay." Well, we get some of them are some of the songs are more orecchiabili. You know, you can actually sing them if you know them. I mean, the key to all this is that the ones that remain are the ones that a lot of people can sing, basically, and you can, you can use these songs, especially being in Melbourne, in Australia, because or anywhere else in the world where Italian is not spoken. You have to put up with the fact that some people don't know the song, they don't know the culture at all. So this is a way of introducing the culture. Now, there's another, but having that personal touch is important. So next Sunday, I've been lucky enough to have Federazione Lucana given me the use of the hall. They're already open on Sunday. So if anyone wants to come from 3:30 till 5, I want to form a group of people who are interested in Italian culture, who want to sing, who want to know about history. Also, I've noticed too, going to the dances, that a lot of people don't know how to use their iPhones, the phones very well. So if you meet there, you can learn the various ways of using your phone. Get yourself one, because it's like a little office. And therefore, if you meet other people of similar interest, that's the key. If you're not interested, don't come, for heaven's sake. And if you don't like what I do, switch me off. Easy, easy. It's your choice at the end of the day. So that's important. And talking about the next lot, probably this song here is, yes, this one here, this particular song is probably appropriate for me. This is called Non Pensare a Me. Let's see.
Now, this song is Ivan Zanicki. It's one of the challenges, and Dora keeps on saying, "Oh, that kind of," but I'm going to try it. I said, let me do it. Let's see whether I can give a nice interpretation to Non Pensare a Me. Here we go. Non pensare a me, continua pure la tua strada, senza mai pensare a me. Tanto cosa vuoi, c'è stata solo una parentesi fra noi. Forse piangerò, ma in qualche modo bene o male, tu vedrai, mi arrangerò. Anche se mai più sarò felice come quando c'eri tu. La vita continuerà, il mondo non si fermerà. Non pensare a me, il sole non si spegnerà con te.
Wow, that's a nice one, huh? Now, that particular song there, I did because it's short. But when Ivan Zanicki sings it, there's the music, there's everything else. So it's very nice song. Ivan Zanicki for me is a little star, a big star in my opinion, because she's a true entertainer. That one, very strong woman. Here we are. This one here is called La Luna, Venezia, La Luna e Tu. Here we go.
Venezia, la luna e tu passano sulle gondole placide fra i sogni d'oro e ogni gondoliere con nostalgia sospira la canzone sua d'amor. Venezia, la luna e tu, stanotte questo cuore sognando aspetterà. Venezia, la luna e tu, sulla laguna l'amor ci avvincerà. Fra un sussurrar di dolci cantilene, coi baci ti dirò ti voglio bene. Venezia, la luna e tu, e questo è il grande sogno che non si scorda più. Musica. Sognano il cuore, l'anima, tremano pensando a te, in questa nostalgia di paradiso, voglio tenerti incatenata a me. Venezia, la luna e tu, stanotte questo cuore sognando aspetterà. Venezia, la luna e tu, sulla laguna l'amor ci avvincerà. Fra un sussurrar di dolci cantilene, coi baci ti dirò ti voglio bene. Venezia, la luna e tu, e questo è il grande sogno che non si scorda più.
That's another beautiful song, Venezia la luna e tu. And of course, if you have a group of people and you want to enjoy yourself, you know, when you meet, rather than just eating, etc., you can we can do a lot of things. So I encourage a few people to come to Federazione Lucana. I've been, if it works, if the group works, that'll be fantastic. If you want to learn Italian, you can come and yeah, we can talk about that. I can even do some corrections, etc. You know, la cosa nasce cosa e il tempo la governa, diceva Machiavelli, no? That's the way it is. And now I'm going to show you something talking about Machiavelli. This week I have put up a whole series of Italian literary figures. And these are the covers of the books. And they're available. Of course, if you're interested, they're here. Here we go. Have a look. This is called Manzoni, I Promessi Sposi. Leopardi, famous poet. Look at this, Verga, Giovanni Verga. And I've done a few of his plays. He's a Sicilian writer. Neorealism, you know, sort of Svevo from the north, from Trieste. This Italian literature began with Il Dolce Stil Novo, and around 1000. So it's really, Italian culture is only about, you know, modern Italian culture. You can sort of bring it back to 1,000 years ago. That's an Ippolito Nievo, another one. Maybe, you know, in the future I'll show you what's the actual works that are presented in these particular books. Be interesting. Pascoli, one of my favorite poets, Giovanni Pascoli. And then D'Annunzio, Gabriele D'Annunzio is Abruzzese, very famous in the, you know, he was he was a star in the earlier part of the 20th century in Italy. Incredible. Foscolo, There we are, another one. Machiavelli, that's my friend, look at him. It's a self-portrait there. Marco Polo, going to China, 13th century, 12th century, 13th century, there you are. So these are some of the books. Leonardo da Vinci. And here, these books here contain all their stories, all their life, you know. Aretino, there you are. Tasso, another big one. La Gerusalemme Liberata, Alfieri. I've got Collodi, De Amicis De Marchi, you know, Pinocchio, Cuore, etc. They're all in this book. De Roberto and Fogazzaro are the two writers, Italian writers, Castiglione della Casa, I Fioretti di San Francesco, il Novellino. And then finally, this is the Poesie dello Stil Nuovo. So these are the earliest poetry, Italian language poetry. And then after that, it's I've got Chinese books. I'm putting this up at the moment in my website, insegna.com. So that's the way it is. And with the Chinese, by the way, these books here, they are also in the Chinese language. They are bilingual. These are bilingual readers, Chinese readers, because I also sell books in 20 other languages. But again, you know, the cricket, old frontiersman losing his horse. I haven't put this up. I'm putting them up this week. So we'll see what happens. But that's it. I think it's a good finish for today. Looking at some of the books, maybe I'll do that in the future too. Bring, you know, cover different areas of literature for children, for adults. Don't forget, education is for life, and it's no good holding it in your head. You've got to actually bring it out. If you can't sing, you've got a voice, sing. Don't worry about it. Just learn. Learn to be yourself. That's it. That's me for today from TomPadulaTV on YouTube. And thank you very much to each and every one of you who's come on today. Keeping me company on a Sunday morning is important to me. And during the week, of course, have a look at these programs again and pass them on. Tell your friends that they can listen to them anytime at all. And on that note, from Insegna Booksellers, ciao, happy weekend and happy Mumba. Let's get together and have fun. Monday morning in the city for the parade. Okay, ciao, ciao.